The CAF President Patrice Motsepe currently holding his 2025 Africa Cup of Nations closing media briefing in Rabat in Morocco. Let's take you there live now.
I hear somebody smiling, but you know, a smile sometimes can be a loud smile. Let me tell you, I'm clear in my mind. I have to be in a much better situation in this new dispensation than I was in the previous dispensation. And the numbers and the figures don't lie, and the facts don't lie. Because I can have my own interpretation and say it's wonderful, it's good, but if the facts and the numbers and the data doesn't support it, then it's incorrect. So what's going to happen? We only had one competition that really made money. I want a competition every year, every year, every year. At this stage, with the exception of the year when there's a World Cup, and we're also looking at that to even have a competition in that year. Now, the AFCON is about, it used to be 20 nations, and we increased it to 24. Every year, I'm going to have 54 nations in Africa, not 24, like in the AFCON, 54. 54. And unlike what happened in the past, I'm going to have the best African players who play in Europe. We are proud of them. The best African players who play in America, proud of them. In Asia, in South America, they're going to be part of this competition every year in Africa. Now, how much do I pay for the AFCON? I think when I became president, the first price was maybe 4 million or something, 4 million, and I immediately increased it to 5. I don't know where the 5 was going to come because we owed $150 million at the time. And then increased it again to 7 for Côte d'Ivoire and increased it again to 10. And I'm excited because I know some of those players, not the ones who play in Europe, the ones in Africa, if they get significant money, some of that money goes into their pockets, and that's what we want. So part of my objective is to make sure that in every sense, the African Nation League competes with AFCON. I don't want one fishing rod to try and catch fish for me in the sea. I want, the AFCON fishing rod was once every 2 years. I'm going to have a fishing rod every year. And part of what we want to do is, you've got to make the Africa Nations League at the minimum as exciting, and better still, even more exciting than the AFCON. And the judge of that is not the president of CAF, it's not CAF, it's the fans. It's you in the media. And we have to listen to you. Whether we agree or disagree is irrelevant. And sometimes what's even more important is when you criticize us. It's a learning opportunity. So we currently pay 10 million, and I shouldn't say this, so if you agree, if you promise not to write about it and keep it to yourself, I'll say it quickly. My aim is to get 10 million first prize for the Africa Nations League. Where am I going to get the money from? I'll find it. So if I've got 10 million there, and make sure that the African Nation League competes in every sense with the AFCON. But of course, the AFCON, there's a sentimental. It's like this grandmother who brought you up when your mother was working. She's got a special place in your heart, and always will have a special place in your heart. But you can't tell a grandma, go to work in a Toyota. I love Toyotas. When you can take her to work in a BMW or a Mercedes-Benz. I mean, whatever nice car. We have to improve all the time, become better, more competitive. And we have to listen to our sponsors. And of course, we've got to listen to our fans. And we also have to listen to the media. So I'm excited. There's a lot of work that still needs to be done. Part of my job is when I'm not president of CAF, because every leader, there's a time to go and there's a time to leave. So part of my job is the president who takes over from me must find a foundation and the leadership where they can continue the good work that we've done together. No organization succeeds because of an individual or because of a president. It doesn't exist. We've got 80,000 employees in the mining companies where we are, either that we have formed as a family or where we are the biggest shareholder. 80,000 employees every day go to work. And we succeed not because of me, but because of all of these people. And we've got to look after them, motivate them. And there's another 33,000 in the financial services companies where we are. So in everything we do, we succeed because of the people we have the privilege to work with. And I'm very honored that I've had the privilege to work with some good people. And as I said, my job is to make sure that, I don't know, a few years down the line when I'm not president of CAF and I look at the leadership, and they should say, together we've laid a good foundation and they must continue. Because I think a lot of the successes of what we are doing, the results will be seen a few years down the line. So have I forgotten anything?
May I, President?
Just remind me quickly.
100%, President. I mean, you spoke about the results here when you took over AFCON, making $5 million, today sitting at revenues of $200 million. And for the first time, you've got ticketing revenue. I mean, when you came in from zero, today, $55 million on revenue, ticketing alone.
Well, the question is, where's all that money going? And that money has to go to where it's supposed to go. Young boys and girls, academies. We donated $10 million from the Motsepe Foundation for schools football in Africa. Get schools football going. There's about 100,000 schools that participate. We're going to have millions of young Africans playing in these competitions. So, and of course, ethics, governance, integrity. I have to make sure that the sponsors are convinced that every cent that this organization makes goes where it's supposed to go. Our member associations. And of course, and we have to stop employing people at CAF who are there because it's a job. They must be there because they are well paid, well appreciated, and we want the best and the smartest. And I'm always disappointed when an employee comes and says, I enjoy my job, but I was offered more money by your competition. So I'm also proud that we've significantly increased the salaries of the staff, and there's a commitment to do more. I'm not going to repeat the prize money. Of course, sir, one quick issue. Women's football, very, very important. I can say all the wonderful things. It really means nothing if on the ground there isn't quantifiable, accessible success. We've spent a lot of money on women's football. It's coming up. I'm so proud. And it'll keep growing. So I just want to conclude by saying that I want to thank the media. Have I forgotten anything?
No, President.
I haven't. President, have I forgotten anything? No. General Secretary?
President, no.
Madame Vestine? Okay. So as I said, part of this thing is to give for us an opportunity for you to ask whatever question you may want to ask. And we will see you next year in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. And let me say this. We have a duty. My duty is to Africa. It starts there. But my second duty is I can only promote Africa if in those areas where we have to work together with the world, with Europe, with America, with Asia, with South America, in those areas, we have to work together. The success of football in Europe is good. I want Europe, I want America, I want Asia, I want their football in those countries to keep growing and keep succeeding. And I'm clear that in Africa, we are going to keep growing and keep succeeding. So I just want to, in conclusion, say once more, huge gratitude to the people of Morocco. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup to the people of Morocco. This is the spirit of Africa. Bring us all together. They took me to a university here in Morocco. 48 African countries have got students at that university. Beautiful, beautiful. 88 countries from outside, worldwide. So there's another 40 countries that have got students. We are part of a world where we have to work together. Our growth is the growth of all of us together. And then there's something else which might come back later. But, and of course, I want to thank the government, and as I said, thank His Majesty, King Mohammed VI. May God assist him, and thank the government, and thank our brother Fauzi. There's one other point that they reminded me about. It just slipped my mind. Hopefully it'll come back when we take all the questions, okay? So just one final thing. I hope we've tried to look well after the media. We're not doing you a favor when we treat you with respect and with the dignity you deserve. It's our duty. And I want to thank you for, there's 190 countries, 190. The official number is 180, but we are told that there's 10 others where they've got access in ways that they only know how, that have been watching African football. We're enormously grateful, and we're grateful for you because you've carried some of that, and it's to a large extent because of you. And thank you for being with us, and if there are ways that we can make your stay with us better, please let us know. Because we will be together next year, we'll be together during the year, and you've got a job to do, we have a job to do. We have a duty to try and help you in executing your job. It's good for us. You're not doing, you're not doing us, we're not doing you a favor. Okay, are we ready for questions now?
Yes, President, just for the benefit of media, just to repeat those financial figures, that revenue is growing since the last AFCON by 95% of CAF, ticketing revenue growing from 11 million from Cote d'Ivoire to $55 million US, and the sponsors from 5 when the president took over to 23 sponsors that are currently sponsoring this competition.